Fighting the paranormal with metal in their veins. No fear in their hearts as they break the chains of the supernatural. They will not rest until they face the demons, put them through the test.
Well, that didn't work out the way I wanted it to. We weren't supposed to see our happy, shiny, friendly faces.
That's all right.
You know what time it is? It is Sunday. It is 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Happy New Year, January 5th, 2025. Do you know where your cryptids are? As always, I am the Doc.
And I'm King James.
And tonight, we are starting our new season, Season 3, Episode 1. We are in Colorado, Rocky Mountain High. In the great words of one old John Denver.
Oh, no. Don't sing, man. Don't start the season off with you singing.
That's as far as we went with that one. Rocky Mountain High, Colorado. So today, we are going to be talking about the Stanley Hotel in Estes, Colorado. And this was one that I wanted to throw on there to start the series because King James himself has been there a couple times.
Yeah, about 4 or 5. Just
4 or 5, 6 or 7.
Nah, no more than 5. Definitely. One of my favorite places.
And it's got a lot of history, and it's a place that I would love to get down there. Once upon a time, me and a former co-host had reservations to go down and spend a night, and everything kind of crapped out on us. So
yeah, well,
someday
we'll need to make that trip. We can maybe even do the podcast from down there.
That would be interesting. So as always, we put the picture up so everybody can look at it. 2025 is going to be a very busy year for both teams, but we're going to be looking forward to it. A little bit of housekeeping up front. The Oregon Ghost Conference, so the March 23rd, 2025 show will actually be live probably earlier in the day. We'll keep you guys informed on when that's going to happen. That'll probably be like a 2-hour show.
Something like that.
So what I might do is something like that. Yeah, it'll be a 2-hour show for us. I speak at 1 o'clock on that Sunday, so we'll do our little podcast beforehand. We'll do the live cast of my speech, and you'll get a 2-hour early.
Nice. And I get the front row seat.
That should be interesting.
Definitely.
So, we're going to start out with the history of the good old Stanley. And this is taken off the Stanley Hotel's website itself. And I quote, Estes Valley was once a wild, lonely parkland known to only wandering tribes of Ute and Aparo. When the Earl of Dunraven visited in 1872, he coveted this sportsman paradise of rushing streams and peaceful meadows teeming with fish and game. He sought to keep the valley to himself as a private hunting reserve, but as more and more American settlers were drawn by its natural beauty, he realized that this dream could never be a reality. The story of the Stanley Hotel itself began in 1903 when Yankee inventor Freeland Oscar Stanley arrived in the valley, weak and underweight from the symptoms of consumption. To his amazement, just one season here was enough to restore his health to better than before. Overjoyed, he vowed to return each summer for the rest of his life. However, he and his wife Flora were used to the sophistication of East Coast society, and the little community of Estes Park offered little to stimulate and challenge his multi-talented genius. Together, they resolved to build a beautiful grand hotel, and when the Stanley opened in 1909, the first guests who pulled up in a stylish Stanley-designed steam cars were astonished at what they saw. Here in this mountain wilderness, surrounded by the rustic haunts of the hunter and the homesteader, was an edifice that withstood comparison to the posh hotels back east. Electric lights, telephones, en-suite bathrooms, a staff of uniformed servants, and a fleet of automobiles were at their disposal. Naturally, Stanley had also done much to develop the Burgundy town. By 1917, it was official municipality with waterworks, a power plant, and civic organizations that were all in some way thanks to Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
By the 1970s, the hotel splendor had faded due to lack of care and investment. It might have eventually have succumbed to the wrecking ball if not for a fortuitous visit by author Stephen King. A stay of one night was enough to inspire his third major work and first hardcover bestseller, The Shining, which remains a landmark masterpiece in a long and well-known list of novels. The hotel stands today as a beautifully restored testament to its glory days when it served as a holiday retreat for wealthy urbanites. A range of tours highlights the history of this magnificent historical structure with a tempting menu of amenities, culinary experiences, and lavishing spa treatments provides all the comfort and glamour required by even the most discerning modern visitors. So you stayed there a couple times, that we've already said. So we'll talk about the accommodations in the hotel itself before we get into the good stuff.
But what you don't know, or most people, I don't know, a lot of people don't know, that the Stanley Hotel has been renovated twice. It used to be a 48-room hotel, which is now 140. It was, the first renovation was in 85, and then the second one was in 98. So wasn't sure if you were aware of that or not, but the little trivia there.
No, I was not, but that's good trivia.
Yeah, I didn't, honestly, I didn't know about that until like a couple days ago. I was like, wow, I thought it was all, all that big from back in 1909 when it opened.
Wandering Spirits also says, I didn't know it was that big.
It looks big on the outside, but it looks even bigger on the inside. That is guaranteed.
So you're saying it's the TARDIS.
Whatever.
For the Doctor Who fans.
Yeah.
So now when you stayed there, what would you think about the lodging, the rooms, the amenities?
Well, the lodging, the amenities, and all that, it was great. I mean, we were up, myself and Heidi were up on the 4th floor. So as you're looking head on from the front of the building, the 4th floor is like the window right next to the tower. There is where we stayed. Back then, I don't know. I mean, it's been since 2015 to 2017 or 18 is when we last went. They could have done some upgrades since then, but the rooms, they're good. They're nice. They're not overly lavish per se. They're just, comfortable livings, sleeping arrangements. But yeah, the restaurant there is a really good restaurant that they have in there. Good food. The employees are fantastic when we were there. But we did have multiple, things happen while we were there. And the grounds itself are just immense. It's just crazy. I think walking around, and this was before they put the maze in. Um, our last visit, it was shortly after our last visit, is when they started to put the maze in. So I
Really?
think I think the maze went in around 2017, 2018, I think, somewhere in there. Um, but yeah, we walked the grounds. The grounds is huge. Uh, and I'm not sure if a lot of people know. I mean, some people do know there is actually at least one pet cemetery on the grounds. I think there could be two. If memory serves me right, I think there's two. Um, and the concert hall and the pianos down in the basement and all that. It was just fantastic.
Well, I know the I was looking at room prices, and they have different packages. They've got your normal.
Absolutely.
You're gonna stay. You're gonna go to the spa. You know, they got those rooms blocked off. Then they've got all the ghost rooms that you can get.
Well,
$400 a night.
yeah. When we were there, the spas and all that weren't there. Those were added on. I think they were starting to build that stuff on in our last visit there, because I think they had like the spas. I think they're having like another building built for rooms that are not, I don't know if they are in the same style as the Stanley itself or more modern to say. But if you ever want to stay there, I'd definitely stay in the main hotel.
Yeah, there's like an outbuilding. There's the lodge. There's the cottages.
Yep.
But people are here for ghosts, so we got to talk about the ghosts.
We got it, man. Like I told you, I've had multiple experiences while I've been there.
Well, I did print up a pamphlets with just some of the stuff we can go over.
Sweet. What do you have? And then we can dive into what I have experienced.
All right. Basically, the Stanley Hotel may be the famous for inspiring Stephen King's book, The Shining, but the filming for the movie was not done at the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Room 217 is the big famous room. It's haunted by Elizabeth Wilson, a housekeeper who died in a gas leak accident.
Now, there has been speculation as to her last name.
Oh, yeah?
There's been a speculation it's Wilson, or they come up with two other last names. I was reading it in an article the other day. I just can't for life of me remember what those are right offhand, but yeah, it's not 100% Wilson.
Yeah. That's just what this article says. The fourth floor of the Stanley is the most haunted, with reports of paranormal activity like children's laughter and strange lights. Stephen King spent the night there in 1974 with his wife, where he had a dream while sleeping that turned into a famous book and movie. Many guests have claimed that the rumors are true and it is indeed haunted, but King was the one that put it on the map. And then this article is the 11 spookiest things at the hotel. Number 11 is kind of lame. The Shining was not filmed there. The exterior shots were Timberline Lodge here in Oregon, and the interior was actually on a movie set in England. Yes, the film was shot almost entirely in the studio at Elstree Studios in Hertfordshire, England, with some of the exterior shots being filmed at the Timberline Lodge, Mount Hood, in Oregon. And then Elizabeth Wilson resides in room 217, which, by the way, if you watch The Shining, it's a whole different room number because Stephen King changed it.
Actually, I think
No, the movie changed it. Kubrick.
Kubrick changed it. I think
Yes,
in the
he did.
movie 237 it said 217,
Yeah, I don't know why. Just keep it as it is.
right?
217 is the most notorious of the Stanley. It's haunted by the ghost of Elizabeth Wilson, a housekeeper who died inside.
And as Tammy says, room 401 is most haunted. Yeah, I don't know about that, but I didn't stand 401.
All right, so Elizabeth apparently was a gas leak that blew the room apart, flung her body a story down to the 1st floor. She did survive with a few broken bones and continued to work at the hotel for a few more years, but for some reason she chose to stick around here after the demise. Elizabeth still keeps her housekeeping routine as people return to find their rooms to find their luggage unpacked, shoes being lined up, and shadows seeming to pass through the walls. Room 428 has a friendly cowboy.
Right.
428, the Stanley Hotel, features a friendly cowboy ghost. People have reportedly been kissed on the forehead by him.
Man, if I was just some guy sitting in there laying there, I wouldn't want some other guy kissing my forehead. Sorry, I'm just saying.
It is 2024. That is not acceptable. That is not okay.
It's 2025 now.
Eh,
Yeah.
it's A, it's B.
Yep.
I'll get to 25 in a while. It'll take me probably about 2-3 months. At least I'm doing my paperwork at work with the right date.
Oh, that's all that matters.
Oh, I've already put 24 a couple times when I'm doing my work emails, and
Yeah.
1-4-24, then I stop and look at it. And Wandering Spirit says a little too friendly. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if what's he look like. He's a good-looking ghost. Will he get on camera and get us some good evidence? Kiss away, buddy. Just give me some good EVPs. I don't care.
Right.
So yes, 428. There's a ghost of a cowboy who frequents this room in the dead of night, but he just likes to sit in a corner or pace the floor. He is quite the gentleman, as one couple asked him to leave the room and he obliged, and other ladies have awoken to him kissing their foreheads goodnight. No one knows this story, but everyone can respect a man who respects the ladies, even in the afterlife. So at least he's a bit of a gentleman.
Well, that's nice.
He leaves when he's asked.
At least a respectful ghost. You don't find those too often.
Hey, buddy, you're kind of freaking me out. Can you take off for a while?
Sure, no problem. Let me just walk through this wall real quick and I'll be out of your way.
Not scary at all.
No.
Room 418. We have ghost children who like to play with the objects in this room. Guests have seen lights flicker, hangers move out on their own accord, and some people's covers are even ripped off of them during the night. The infamous twins from The Shining are based on these tales. A 4-year-old girl stayed in this room a few years back and told her mother in the morning that a young boy had tickled her in the night, but he left after she asked him to stop. Children are known to make up stories, although it's hard to think of this one as just a funny coincidence.
Right.
Wow! Do these ghosts just touch a lot of people inappropriately?
It's starting to sound that way.
God, I might need a therapy session after this. Can you show me on the doll where the ghost touched you? Yes! Oh my God!
I want to say, well, no. I want to say 418, or was it 460? Somewhere in there is where we stayed. Somewhere in there. Or 410.
One of the most paranormal active section of this hotel is the concert hall. Employees and guests have died in and around the concert hall,
Yeah.
leading to its activity.
Mm-hmm.
This is one area where a lot of people will report hearing and feeling the touch of ghosts. What is with these ghosts? They're touching people inappropriately. Jeez.
Especially down in the basement. No joke. No joke. No joke. I've had it happen when I was there. And the smell of lavender. So it was female.
James, can you show me on the doll where the ghost touched you?
Ah, where's the doll?
I don't know. If this is going to become a running joke, I think I need to grab one.
Right.
Let me see. There was a worker named Paul who used to enforce the curfew in the hotel, but unfortunately he passed away back in 2005 after suffering a heart attack on the job. People say you can hear him telling you to get out, while others swear he tried to push them out the door into the hall. The founder of the hotel, named Flora Stanley, was known for her pianistic skills, which are often shown off in the concert hall as guests claim to hear her music even when no one else is in the room.
Mm-hmm.
James from Wandering Spirit says, I was going to say that. Many years ago, here we go, we're talking about the basement. A young girl named Lucy was found in the hotel basement peeping at some construction plants. The staff found out and threw her out in the cold where she froze to death. And now she haunts the concert hall and the basement.
Yes. That is the spirit that, yeah, I had a little interaction with.
We're going to have to I'm going to have to go to Goodwill or something, get a doll, just because this is just going to become a running joke from now on.
Oh, man.
It's not like we're getting community strikes on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch. By the way, we are no longer on Spotify, so don't look for us on Spotify anymore. We're just on Facebook, DBK Investigations on Facebook, youtube.com/DBK Investigations, and Twitch, I think we're also DBK Investigations. A guest on the tour took the above, which showed a young girl in a hot pink dress, but no one on their tour was wearing that sort of attire. It was also strange, as everyone agreed they never saw a girl that looked anything like that during the time they were there, which only proves that Lucy does exist.
Mm-hmm.
New.
No, we're not.
Male ghosts are also known to get handsy with female guests. Wow. Here comes that community strike.
Get the doll out.
Get the doll out. The male ghosts who reside in this hotel are not ashamed to touch young women during their stay, as guests have claimed to feel a presence stroking their hair, kissing their cheeks, or hands running along the length of their bodies. Well, there goes our community strike. Here it comes.
Damn.
Yeah, it's fun. Hey, we made it to 3. If anyone in the group feels a ghost near or on them, a simple "no thank you, I'm taken" might work. However, a more stern warning towards them might be required if they're persistent. Hands off, bud. So we got a ghost cowboy that is very nice. Gives you a kiss on the forehead. Then we've got the Wanderer Spirit says Stanley needs some HR training. Yes, these spirits downstairs, they need the HR training. They need to go up to the 4th floor and they need to talk to the cowboy and get lessons and etiquette.
Right, yeah.
The original owner of the Stanley Hotel, Lord Dunraven, makes his presence well known to guests of the Stanley Hotel. It is believed he haunts room 401. Lord Dunraven was the original owner of the piece of land that the Stanley Hotel resides on. He never once visited the hotel, but it's hard to believe that the Irishman who haunts room 401 could be anyone else. I don't know. It kind of sounds like we need to get a bunch of people together, rent these rooms, and then do a bunch of investigations.
Right.
Wow. You know what this next page says? He is another ghost that likes women and is unafraid to wrap an arm around them or play with their hair. But he isn't a fan of men. He generally gives a feeling of unwelcome or steals their valuables while they're away as the price for their stay. Wow, Lord Dunraven. Come on, buddy, you're a lord. Tammy Valdez says, go for a visit and get felt up by a ghost.
James says he's in. Oh, and what's so sad is when I was there, I never seen, heard, or felt any of these except for Lucy down in the concert hall.
Well, we need to bring some ladies with us and teach some HR training to these people.
Well, you gotta remember back in the day, I'm pretty sure it was acceptable. Not nowadays.
Nope.
Nowadays, you're lucky to. I'll leave that alone. Anyway.
You know, we could probably make a lot of money just doing therapy classes in the lobby. Hey, what room or area of the hotel did you get touched in? Please show me on the doll where you got touched. By the way, that'll be $200 for therapy. Thank you very much.
Feel free to come back anytime.
We'll be in the lobby all day drinking coffee and Jack and Coke.
There you go.
Room 407 is a much nicer ghost than some of the others, often showing compassion towards younger guests. I think that's illegal in all 50 states. No one has ever seen the ghost that haunts this room, but it is apparently very friendly and caring based on its actions. A little boy once stayed in the room and kept kicking his covers off. And every time he did, the ghost would tuck him back in.
James is saying he's heard of a woman who committed suicide off the 4th floor. Now, I've not heard of that one. I haven't seen anything I've read on it, but it's possible.
So apparently this room, a lot of guests have reported being tucked in at night in this room. While some say the ghost likes to sit on the edge of the bed, it is the perfect room for someone who wants to experience paranormal activity, but not be frightened by it in a way that makes them scared to fall asleep. In other words, if you don't want to be accosted or molested, go to this room.
Well, how many rooms is that now?
Oh, God. That's 407 now. So basically they're talking a lot of room, floor number 4.
Floor 4.
Floor number 4. There's a male ghost who likes to pop in a room 413, presumed to be a guest who died inside. It is not uncommon for ghosts in old-fashioned styles to appear in haunted places, and room 413 is no different. There have been several guests who report seeing a man sitting in the corner of the room in an old-fashioned suit that doesn't fit with today's style. Other reports have been made of a man's face in a blue ball resting outside this room, which probably scared more than a few people. It is more than a little creepy, but we wouldn't expect anything less from a restless ghost. And of course, the last page of this article, the 4th floor is definitely haunted. Really? You just kind of said in all the other pages, all these other rooms on the 4th floor, this is haunted, that's haunted, this is haunted, this is haunted, and then your final statement is, oh yeah, the 4th floor is really haunted. I kind of got that from the other ones.
Kind of got that from that, and I can vouch for it.
Forgot to change the banner.
Well, you're a little excited there.
Wait, We need a doll now. If you want to hear the sounds of ghosts, then you should book a stay on the 4th floor. You can hear children's laughter, partygoers returning after a long night, and the pitter-patter of children's feet running down the hall. People have also seen strange lights, and some say they felt a presence while they were in this hall, all of which we wouldn't deem as normal activity in a hotel. It's hard to say it's not haunted when there are so many reports pointing to ghosts on this particular floor.
Yeah.
And now we get into the nitty gritty for the last 30 minutes. We are going to talk about James's, the King's encounters.
Yeah.
In the Klondike, we are going firsthand.
Yeah.
All James.
It's all me, right? Yeah. All right. So with this picture, the slide that you have up here now is from our first visit, our first day there. We were just kind of getting the feel of the land there, so to speak, and we were taking a bunch of pictures. Just by looking at this picture like this, you can't really see anything. You would have to zoom in. And I've had this picture looked at by multiple people. Some people say it's pixelated. Some people say that there's something there. But if you actually zoom in on this is the 2nd floor. Down at the end is the balcony outside. Zoomed in, you could see roughly 5 or 6 entities. There's a male in a suit, in the day suit, sitting, and there's other people standing around behind him and on the side of him. I've had people say that, it's just a reflection off some of the pictures that are in the hallway there. And I'm like, no, because down at the end, the wall kind of, recesses about a foot deep. And so any pictures there, it'd be difficult to reflect off of those windows. And any reflections wouldn't be a full-sized apparition sitting in a chair.
Right.
So this is one of my favorite pictures that I've caught off there. So again, back on our first visit there, we had just checked into the hotel. They gave us our room key. Go up to the 4th floor. We put our luggage down. I did bring some paranormal equipment because, of course, it's the Stanley. Who wouldn't, right? I didn't bring everything because, we were just kind of starting out. So I brought, some video cameras and things of that nature. But we sat everything on the bed, our luggage, on the dirt floor or whatever. And the wife took out her camera, and that's where we were taking all these pictures and stuff from. And I took my camera out as well. So after we were done kind of casing the joint, we tried to go back into our room. The key would not work. It would not allow us in access to our room. So we go downstairs to the desk. They said, well, did you have it next to anything that could demagnetize it? And I said, no, everything's up in our room. I had it in my coat pocket, front coat pocket, so there's nothing in there. And so they had one of their employees, they got us a new room key. They gave it to this one employee. He was kind of telling us about some stories about the 4th floor, and he's like, sometimes you have to knock and ask for permission before entering a room. Okay, so we got up out of the elevator, we went to the door. He tries the new key, card key. It would not allow him to, it would not allow him to open up the door. So it's like, okay, so he turns around and he knocks and asks for permission to enter the room. And then he tries the card key. At that point, the door unlocked and we were able to get in there. There's no explanation for it. I mean,
Yeah.
the card key should have worked automatically. No problem. There was nothing to demagnetize it. We were trying to debunk it and we just couldn't figure it out. Except for the fact that knocking and asking for permission to enter the room. I mean, and so, you know, for the first night there, and we're like, all right, so this is how our stay is going to be. We're going to have to knock every time we come in to this room. Luckily, we didn't have to, except I think one more time. But yeah, that's where all our experiences started going there. Same trip there. I got woken up in the middle of the night, and even in The Shining, the movie, you got the girls up on the floor bouncing, running back and forth, bouncing the ball and stuff like that, right?
Right.
And there are reports of children running up and down the corridor. I got woken up in the middle of the night by children bouncing a ball up and down the corridor. I opened up the door. There was nobody there. I even walked down to where the halls go down different corridors, everything. There was no kids. And then when the employees opened up the elevator, he was just coming up and asked if everything was okay. I said, well, I thought I heard children running up and down the corridor with a ball bouncing. And he immediately said, that is one of the reports we get from up here.
Huh.
So I'm like, okay. So this stuff is just, it was blowing my mind. I mean, if I was to go back now, I'd be saying, yeah, okay, I hear you. I'll come check out you in a little bit. But, back then it was just like, okay, how am I going to try to go back to sleep after hearing that? And that was just pretty much, we had a, other than that, I think for me, it was mostly myself having the experiences. Heidi didn't have really much going on. We did the tour, the haunted tour. They took us down in the very basement as far as they could go, and they gave their little spiel on how the hotel was built, the way it was on the rock, and all that. And then they took us over to the concert hall and was telling us about some of the spirits of Flora playing the piano. She likes to perform in front of people, and going down into the basement where all the pianos, because she loved the piano. There's multiple pianos down in the basement. There's rumors of people seeing her in a mirror. There's multiple mirrors down in the basement. I didn't see that, but we went to this one room down in the basement, and they were telling us the story of Lucy. And so we were doing, the group was doing an EVP session, and we got Lucy, who basically came through, and some of us were getting touched by her, and she did have like a lavender smell, perfume smell.
Let me throw another one of your pictures up.
All right. All the pictures you have are the same ones. It's just different.
The same hallway?
They're all the same hallway. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we look down the hallway, I mean, we're talking about reflections off the paintings are creating an image on the back.
Yeah.
But the angle that you're at, I don't see how that would. I don't see how that would happen. Yeah.
No. Absolutely not.
And then you've got
Yeah.
that one.
I mean, since I've looked at this picture so much, I could tell you exactly where, that gentleman is sitting, just without even zooming in.
Yeah, I mean, these are good pictures. I try to get the zoomed in picture for everybody, but it just looked pixelated and not high def.
Right.
That
You
we got to
zoom in.
work on. James from Wandering Spirit says it almost looks like someone peeking out of a doorway.
Well,
Down on the very end on the right hand side.
right. But there was no one peeking out the doors. That I could confirm. Excuse me.
So that last picture.
Right. And what gets me, I was, these pictures are all the same angles, one right after the other. But if you look at that carpet, it looks a little wavy.
It does look wavy. Like if you had too much to drink in the concert hall and
I wasn't drinking yet, I swear to God.
that's the kind of carpet that you just kind of.
Yeah.
It's not drunk friendly.
No. But yeah, it's, like I said, we've been up there 4 or 5 times. The last time we were up there, well, the times in between the first and the last time we were up there, we really didn't get anything paranormal wise. But the last time we were up there with a bunch of people and William Becker. He was doing a class there of his class that he teaches. And my stepdaughter, we were over in one of the, I want to say it's the piano room, or the room that they have the piano kind of blocked off at. We were in there, and my stepdaughter Summer had a audio recorder and was asking questions, and she actually had gotten EVPs of male voices, or they were children's voices. I want to say I think they could have been children's voices, because she tends to draw the children entities to her.
Right.
But yeah, so that was an emotional thing for her. But other than that, I mean, it's that first visit for me is what really sold me on the paranormal for Stanley Hotel. Because I'd like to go in, honestly, I'd like to go in and say it's all BS. I just want to see it, hear it for myself. Because movies tend to exaggerate a bunch of things, and you just want to kind of go in and see for yourself what is true and what's not true. And since I'm not a big fan of reading, I didn't read the book. So, I could confirm a few of the things, whether it's from the movie or whatnot, or what other people have said or seen. I can confirm. I definitely believe. Definitely the fourth floor. We stayed on the fourth floor. I think every time we were there, we were on the fourth floor. So they do have like a little hatch to go up in the attic area on the fourth floor that says Red Rum on it. So if you look up, it says Red Rum. Go figure.
Well, I know they have multiple different packages you can book in. They do the paranormal. They put you in these haunted rooms. They give you ghost hunting equipment. Same thing like they do on the Queen Mary. Other different places. Now, I mean, this would be kind of a cool place. Like I said, a couple years back, me and the former co-host were supposed to go down. It did not work out. Didn't
Didn't pan out.
It didn't pan out. We were trying to go down at the tail end of winter when there wasn't a lot of people, when the touristy season was on the down low there. But yeah, it did not work out.
And a lot of people may not know that the Stanley used to close down during the winter times up until mid 80s, I believe it was. And then that's when it started opening full time, and that's when the renovation started and all that.
Yeah, I know. For example, I actually read the book The Shining in a hotel in the mountains in Montana.
Okay.
Yeah, the beginning of the season, I was in the basement area of this hotel. We were opening it, so it's still boarded up. There's still, 12 feet of snow outside. There ain't nothing to do. So I'm sitting in my room in the basement. There's 12 of us teenagers working there for the summer. And I ended up reading The Shining with my door open with very, very minimal lights in the entire place. And my roommate walks in the door, and I'm laying on the bed reading The Shining, and he's like, "Are you insane? You're reading The Shining about a guy who's a caretaker at a haunted hotel in the dead of winter. We're in the tail end of winter in a haunted hotel. And we're trying to get it up and running, and you're reading The Shining in the basement." I go, "Yes, and we are near the boiler room. Thank you very much."
Wow, yeah.
Which, by the way, we'll be talking about that hotel later on down the road. We're going to move that into the... Oh, yeah, we're going to be talking about the Montana series when we get to Montana. That'll be one of them.
All right, then. Look forward to that one.
Oh, Montana's going to be a good one. I need to find a song to open it with, because John Denver never wrote any songs that say Montana in it. Or did he? I don't know.
No.
I'll have to look.
No. But
every season's going to be built around a song title from John Denver.
Shit. But, everyone says that, The Shining, Stephen King, came up with The Shining from being at that hotel. Some can argue as well that he came up with Pet Sematary at the same time from that hotel.
Yeah, we can take Pet Sematary, we can take the book, we can take the movies, and we can put them in a burn pile and never speak of them again.
Never, never, never. All right.
Now, the books and the movies are not allowed in my house at all.
Okay.
Didn't like them.
That works. Yeah, I didn't like the new redone version. I didn't care for that one. Yeah, definitely though the Stanley has its, what's the word? I don't know, but it definitely has its place amongst the paranormal. And if I was able to go back again, which I'd love to do, go back and spend more time again, maybe a fourth floor. I would even love to check the 217 out. I know they have down on the main floor. It's the I want to say the dance hall or whatever it is right there, next to the restaurant that supposedly is haunted by quite a few entities as well down in there.
Well, as since we do not have our conspiracy our debunker on anymore. Pay a little homage to him. We're going to start doing a third act.
Oh.
We're going to go do the conspiracy over the last 10 minutes.
Oh, shit. You threw that on me, did you? All right.
I threw a whole new thing on it. So, the conspiracy is when Stephen King stayed at the Stanley, it was very, I think he ended up paying like, $20. The hotel's going under.
Mm-hmm.
It's in a state of disrepair, and they're talking about bulldozing the whole thing over.
Right.
Stephen King writes a book about a haunted hotel up on the mountains. The conspiracy is, did the hotel grab on to the attention and did they run with it?
Absolutely, they did. Guarantee.
Now, some would say that they've manufactured these ghosts to help lure in the customers.
How can you manufacture a ghost? A legit ghost? Come on. Obviously, these people have not been there.
We don't have the third guy anymore to help with his arguments. I'm just throwing it out there on the third act, the last few minutes.
Nope. That is not a conspiracy. Screw that. Telling you now.
Because honestly, we need our conspiracy guy or a conspiracy guy who can actually sit there and say, here's my argument against. Because we can't validate this. I've seen your pictures. I've seen the spirits. I've seen other things. I've seen other evidence from other people. Of course, we do have the not Zach Baggins down on the bottom because he was actually there too.
Yeah.
But I believe it's got some hauntings to it. But that was just one thing that had been brought up in the past from Bill was, how do we know that they're not manufacturing these things simply for the sake of making more money? As you said, your argument is, well, how can they manifest EVPs and everything else? Bad electrical wiring like some hotels we know?
Yeah, no. No, I can't buy that. Maybe he can.
I know you know what hotel I'm talking about.
Of course.
I do know there is a hotel in Seaside that has bad electrical wiring that sets off all the EMF detectors, and you can pinpoint exactly where the EMFs go off. But in the Stanley, we have children playing. We have skilled people being touched. We have cowboys that just take the hint. They're gentlemen. They walk away.
The kiss on the forehead.
The kiss on the forehead. I'm sorry, ma'am. I'll leave you alone.
Yeah. Yeah, man, I tell you. It's definitely.
You realize we're just gonna
what? We're gonna cry that
we're gonna need to start. We're yes, we're gonna cry that we want to go back, but we're gonna need to go get a Barbie doll for any future investigation.
Really? No. Okay, you can keep the doll with you. I don't want no damn doll near me.
Hey, I almost look like Dr. Phil, so I can have a Dr. Phil moment.
Ooh. James says he'll tell stories about the Montana Club. Can't wait. Well, when we hit that stop next time.
As soon as we get to Montana, I know I've got a lot of stories simply because of the fact that St. Mary, Montana, the hotel I used to work at, has got a lot of hauntings to it. That'll pretty much be an entire show and maybe two because the entire area is haunted.
All right.
And I saw a lot. I witnessed a lot when I was there, but yes, welcome to season 3. A little glitches here and there. Getting a peek behind the curtain, if you would. It is chaos. Chaos does ensue every single time.
Did you know that Elizabeth climbs into bed with unmarried couples? Tammy states.
Tammy, this is a family show.
We're keeping it rated whatever. Rated paranormal. Rated
paranormal
P.
for everybody else. We're going to go ahead and get out of here a little bit early. Next week, we are talking about the Denver airport, the conspiracy surrounding it, and our continuing visit of Colorado. Rocky Mountain High. We are not high.
Just take me home.
Maybe a little. Just take me home. That's back to West Virginia. Thanks, everybody. We will see you all later.
Later.